California is in trouble, and we're going to see a viral disease outbreak coming. Mark my words. And it is crazy what the cities and your mayors are doing in California. Oh, I got something to show you guys. I had this sent to me from RV Lucky. I'll have a link in the bottom. He hand painted this because he knows I like to do photography and I love to take pictures of hummingbirds. He actually painted this to me and sent it to me. I think it was so cool. I'm actually going to hang that up over my computer. Just awesome when you get something like that from somebody that's subscribed to your channel. But let's have a look at what's going on in California, okay? California has a rodent problem, rats and mice. They are breeding like crazy. And I can't believe when I research this and what I'm seeing. But look what's going on here. California has an outbreak of homeless people. And you've got homeless people that are on drugs, you have homeless people that are alcoholics, and you have homeless people just that are homeless. They're not on drugs. You have all different variety going on here. You even have people that are living in trucks, trailers, cars that are working at Amazon because they can't afford to pay for their apartment. They're living in the street in their car. And they're going to work every day. They'd rather be at work than go back to their car. So they're working, 5-7 days a week just to survive and eat, and they can't afford an apartment because the rents are too high. And it's like California doesn't want to address this. I don't know about you, but this is supposed to be a first world country, not a third world country. And we're supposed to be in a country that if you work for a living and you're doing what you're supposed to do, you can have a roof over your head. You can have a car. You can buy a few things. Whatever happened to this, the so-called American dream? Where is it? If you're willing to work a job and not be a bum, that man should be, that woman, that person should be rewarded. It feels like they're being punished. But let's look at what's going on here. We know about the homeless. We've got rats that are producing like crazy in California. We're talking thousands, okay? Maybe millions. They've got records indicating that city workers are being bitten by these rodents. Police officers are being diagnosed with typhus. They even had a situation where a rat fell from the ceiling in a restaurant onto the person's menu. So the customer's sitting there ready to order and this big rat falls on his menu. You'd be like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I mean, what is this? So you would think just that alone would wake up California's eyes and say, well, we got a rat problem here. We need to fix this. We need to start killing these things. And it all stems apparently from the homeless people. Now, you don't have to be bit by the rat. You could be bit by a tick or a flea that carries a disease called typhus, which now infects you, make you sicker than a dog, and all this. Now, a lot of homeless people will have dogs as pets. So think about that. The homeless person has a dog as a pet. Ticks are spreading. They didn't get off the dog and find the rat. They bite the rat, and now they come back and bite the dog or maybe bite you. And now they've infected you with typhus. It's a crazy circle. Now, San Francisco even had a problem with a medical association came in to rent a convention and do their convention there. Oh, we're talking medical here, guys. $40 million was going to be spent on that weekend. You have any idea how much that helps out restaurants and patrons and working men and working ladies? I mean, $40 million. They canceled. They canceled it because they said it's not safe coming there. Because homeless people have petty crimes, pickpocketing and feces everywhere and urination everywhere. They canceled. So now get this. Because they lost $40 million, it always comes down to the dollar, right? Always the dollar. Oh, we lost $40 million? Oh, we got to do something about these homeless. So their idea is, let's put more cops on the beat. Not, let's fix the homeless population, lower the rents or something. Come up with something different to give people a better quality of life. No, we're going to buy more cops. Is that the way people think? I don't get it. So, they lost that money. Now, apparently San Francisco spends over $300 million a year on housing, homeless programs, But you wouldn't even know it if you walked down Market Street. 300 million. Do you have any idea how many people that would feed? That's a lot of money. Have you made 300 million? I haven't. That's amazing. You would think when you start seeing numbers that big that somebody would say, hey, we got a problem here. And throwing more money at it obviously ain't fixing it. They even did a study. I love California about this. I really do. They did a study about them being overrun by rats. So, you know, this guy's walking down the street. He sees, 20, 40 rats run across the street in front of him. And he's like, oh, look at that. I could do a study on that. And the city would probably pay me for it. Now, that's a smart guy. Governments always do studies. I don't get it. It's like, hey, we're stupid until you actually show us the study. You can't see the rats running around? And they're starting to see the rats in the daytime. When you see rats in the daytime, it means there's a lot of rats. It also means some rats can actually have rabies. But when they're actually out during the day, and they're not afraid of you, they're becoming part of you, there's a problem. Oh, there's a problem. They, like I said, they got police officers getting typhoid fever. It's just unbelievable. Let me see what else I got on this. Now, City Hall has apparently put aside $6.5 million to the Sanitation Department to cover hygiene costs and health services of cleanup. Sounds good when they say that, doesn't it? Basically, they're paying $6.5 million in labor, dump trucks, and people to go in, and robot arms to pick up the garbage that the homeless have. So when the homeless sit in a certain area for a long time, build up their tents, I mean, you got to think, this is their home. And think about, what do you do in your home? Well, when you got to go to the bathroom, you go to the bathroom and do your business. Well, when you're homeless and you're living in an area, where do you go to do your business? And you're not a healthy person. Some of these people are on drugs. Some people are sick. Maybe some of them have typhus from the fleas biting them. I mean, or the ticks. I mean, what are they going to do? So they take 5 steps, they take a dump, and boom, you got feces everywhere. You got urination everywhere, attracting more rats. More rats breed. Oh, I got a petri dish the size of my town, just sitting there bubbling, waiting to go off. And the people in California don't pay attention to history. We are going to have a disease outbreak, and we're a first world country. It is ridiculous what's going on here. And I've seen this by just reading a few articles. I'm like, it must be my age because of how old I am. It's got to be. Because it's like people don't pay attention to stuff. I mean, being clean is so important to a healthy life. It's unbelievable. Why do you think people wash their floors, wash their counters, take showers? When people get dirty, their health fails. And it's ridiculous that they're not paying attention to this. Typhus is a disease caused by an infection with one or more bacteria, fleas, mites, jiggers, lice, or ticks transmitted when they bite you. Without treatment, so let's say you don't get treated, you're a homeless guy, you've gotten typhus, and you're not getting treated. Death may occur in 10 to 60% of the patients with the epidemic of typhus, with patients over 60 having the highest risk of death. But if you get antibiotics, you're probably going to live. So think about that for a sec. Do you think somebody in California is sitting up top thinking, well, how do we get rid of these homeless people? I mean, God, they're not working, they're costing us money, they're a burden. Do you think they really want to help them? I mean, they probably say, wait a minute, 10 to 60% of the patients die. Well, let's just be quiet and not help them. What's going to happen? We'll knock off 60% of the homeless population. There we go. We got her. Yeah. Why would we help them? What they're not getting is everybody else they're going to take out with it. The accumulation of feces from mice and rats can spread bacteria, contaminating food, and trigger an allergic reaction in humans. You see, what happens here is what a lot of people don't know is you think, okay, as long as I don't touch the rats and I don't get bit, I'll be safe. That's not true. With the amount of feces coming from the rats, well, their feces dries out in the hot California sun, and then it breaks down into a dust. And now as you're just walking down the street looking at the stores, and you're stepping over that homeless guy, you're breathing that in. You just got typhus. And it's that simple. And this is unbelievable what they're doing. Now it says here, from what I could find out, in fact, rats and mice are known to spread more than 35 diseases. These diseases can spread to humans directly through the handling of live or dead rodents. So even if the rat is dead, so a city worker comes along, he picks up this dead rat, and now he catches it. You can get it through rodent feces, urine, saliva, through getting bit. The disease carried by rodents can be spread to humans indirectly through fleas, ticks, or mites, and have fed upon an infected rodent. So now you could be this worker, you're going into this area to clean up, and now these so-called fleas and ticks jump on you, and now they bite you. You're just doing your job, man. Next day you get up, you feel like crap, and now you go to the hospital, you find out you just got typhus. Wow, what a great job. Where do I sign up for that job? I want to get that job. They better be paying big bucks, I'll tell you. Now, the last urban outbreak of anything rat associated, I went and looked it up, and it was a plague in the United States. It occurred, and you're going to find this funny, it occurred in Los Angeles in 1924 to 1925. So back in 1924, in Los Angeles, California, they had an outbreak of this. Presently, human plague infections continue to occur in rural and semi-rural areas in the western United States. The western side of the United States, we've still got plagues going on, small infections. So, could you be seeing a plague coming up your alley? If you live in California, poof, God forbid, you don't want to be there. You could literally just go uptown and get bit by a tick, and the next thing you know, be sicker than a dog. You're over 60 years old, you could end up dead. The problem is homeless people. It's cost the city, conventions are canceling. Everything's going on there. They have to address the homeless population. Now, like I said, a lot of people are working in Amazon, living in tents or trailers in their cars, and these are working people. And they could get these diseases. They can't afford the rent. You go and work a job 40, 60 hours a week and you can't afford rent. They're barely affording to eat because of the price of food going up. Is anybody paying attention here? Hello, Congress. Anybody up there? Have you not looked at the food prices in the grocery store? Us working people can't afford to eat anymore. So we're going to look at these homeless. They're going to pile up. They're going to create this epidemic. Boom. We're going to see thousands of people dying. And then we're going to see the newscaster saying, well, due to the homeless population and the rat infestation, we've now lost over 8,000 people. And people will click their remote and go, oh, okay, some people died. Oh, well. I wouldn't live in California if it paid me. They got beautiful weather. But how they handle things there, all I see is two things in California, rich and poor. And it's looking like they want to knock off the homeless. It doesn't even look like they want to do anything about it. But as these cities and these urban centers concentrate people in areas, it's turning into a petri dish that's going to kill thousands and thousands of people. And that's what's coming. Mark my words. You are going to see a disease outbreak, and it's going to be because of the stupidity of these governments not paying attention. Let's do a study. You don't see them? Kill them. There's even some cities, I think this was Chicago, I seen this, where a guy would go out with a few dogs and they would hunt rats all night, and the city was paying him for that. Where these dogs were trained to just kill rats. And that's all they did. You don't let rats fester and breed. They carry disease. There is nothing good about a rat. Where do you think the saying came from that said, you dirty rat? There's nothing good about a rat. And I'll tell you this. Do you got rats in your house? I'll bet you don't even know. I'm going to tell you a quick little story. If you're actually hanging around this long. I was sitting on the couch. Now, remember, I own like 10 dogs, 12 dogs. We have a lot of dogs. We're dog people. Okay, so I'm sitting there on the couch. I'm watching a movie. I got my feet up on the coffee table. I got dogs laying all around me. They're all in the living room. I happen to glance to the side, and I see this rat coming down the stairs. I'm like, are you kidding me? I didn't move. I just sat there and watched him. He came into the living room through the door, grabbed a couple pieces of dog food out of the bowl, and then he went back up the stairs. And I looked at all my dogs that were sitting there in the living room going, you bunch of bums. You don't think one of you would have got up and took out the rat? Not one of them. They all just laid there. So I actually ordered this rat trap off Amazon that kills them by electricity. And I find they last about 2 or 3 years. But it's probably the best trap I've ever had. And I have 2. And I keep them always going now. And every 2 or 3 years, if they break, I go buy another one and I set it up. And we've actually caught probably, I think it was like 4 rats in my house that we didn't even know we had. They're smart. Rats ain't stupid. You could have them in your house and don't even know it. And here's another, if you don't see mice, and you think, oh, we don't got no mice, I haven't seen a mouse in a while. That's probably because you have rats. The mice actually move out when the rats move in. Just the way it is. So you might want to go, I'll even put a link at the bottom. You guys want to pick up that rat trap I got. I like it because when the rat goes in, he gets electrocuted. You pick the trap up, you dump it. There ain't no blood, no guts or anything. I mean, rats are pretty big rodents. I mean, well, some of them get huge. And it's just horrible with the way they're, and the rat trap, you could break your finger in those when you set those things if you do it wrong. Because I used to use those at one time. But having one rat trap in your house someplace will put peace of mind to you and keep it away from your animals. Because it'll bring peace of mind knowing full well if you do get one, you got. And if you do get one, oh boy, take it serious. Don't mess around. At all. Rats are horrible. They're feces. They're urine. You could make yourself sick overnight. Pay attention to your environment. Just because your kitchen counters are clean and your floors are clean does not mean you don't have a rat in your house. A rat can actually get into, I think it's the size of a quarter, maybe a tiny bit bigger than that. They can actually get into a spot if they find a place to get in. And I'm in an old house, so it's quite easy to come in from the outside. But we are always vigilant when we're watching that. We're vigilant with cleaning. Maybe we're fanatics. But I don't like getting sick. And that's the bottom line. If you want to be sick, hey, knock yourself out. But it's not something like I want to be. And when you see entire conventions canceling and not going to California, why would I go there? California's going broke. Beautiful weather. But I'll tell you, it's turning into nothing more than a cesspool of people. I mean, it's disgusting. And nobody has any answers. And that's the crazy stuff that you're seeing right in today's world. Anyhow, I have a link in the bottom to the study they did, so you can go read the study. The study's quite comical. I mean, they even took pictures of rats and showed them these are the type of rats we have in our area. Because it's like they have to tell these dummies that this is the type of rat we have. Well, it's not the green one, it's the brown one. It's not the black one, it's the brown. You gotta be kidding me. Anyway, stay away from California. Mark my words, you're going to see an epidemic of a disease breaking out in thousands of humans. And I'm not kidding. Make sure you're not one of these families that only carries, a week worth of food in your house. Make sure you got a good month or so. If you can go 3, go 3. But you don't want to turn around and be running to a grocery store if an epidemic breaks out or something goes on. And I see this coming down the pipe. Go do your own research. Go look up Californian rats. Go look up Californian homeless. Go look up anything in California. It's almost like there's somebody's doing an experiment here and they want to see how many people they can kill in California. Because that's what it looks like to me. Wow. California, get your shit together. Catch you guys on the next one.